great green-gray Danube and the cloudy gray sky above it. Feels like rain, smells like rain. Winter is coming. But in all seriousness, you can tell, I've heard from people that when the seasons change, it'll be really obvious because summer is great. There's all the blue sky and the warm weather basically every day. That's how it has been for the last few weeks. But fall and winter are apparently kind of gross and rainy and cloudy, and I think this is probably the start of it, if I had to call it. It rained last night at about midnight. And I've got a feeling it's gonna rain again, which means I need to buy an umbrella. I lost mine when I came here. I have no idea where it is. Oh well. The leaves are coming down. I like this feel. I feel like one of the things that represents me pretty well is that I like whatever season it is currently the most. Because I'm always reminded of the good things about it. The smell of fall. I miss Halloween. I don't know if they have any of that sort of celebration. I mean, you know, culture gets pretty globalized these days. I know they do Halloween in Russia, of all places, I think. There's a reasonable chance it'll happen here, but we'll see. I'll miss Thanksgiving, although I know we're gonna have some sort of celebration about that. There's a lot of stuff that I like about fall. Not all of it is just stuff in the US, you know? I heard someone say that fall is a season where every leaf is a flower, blooming in color, gold and orange and red. And I think that's going to look really spectacular here in Budapest. I don't know if I mentioned, but I took my grandmother's advice and I chose at least one class that wasn't just computer science. And naturally, of course, she's right. It was a good idea. I'm taking Budapest studies, and my first class was actually, my first non-online class was yesterday. And what we did was we walked around District 8 of Budapest, which is like, we had this like wonderful tour guide who I really liked. Not quite a tour guide, more of just a random local who happened to be very knowledgeable. I think she worked for the district itself, developing social housing. And we went there and she kind of described the district as like the place where everybody's up and coming. It's the most multicultural district of Budapest. And I went to, you know, after we had finished the tour, we were just dropped off there. And I found an Afghan restaurant. The guy was from Kabul. And I went there and it was great. Had dinner at this wonderful Afghan restaurant. Just like my favorite thing is when, you know, they're like, oh, is food good? The food good? And I'm like, yes, food's good. And it was so cheap. I loved it. Feeling pretty spick and span. I've got my bomber jacket, my cool Uniqlo Loop clothes, my Converse, and my school backpack that I've had since middle school. I'm going out to eat dinner and then make some cookies with some people, which will be fun. I'm glad I can finally start wearing a little bit more wintry clothes, because I think I have a little bit more fun with those. I feel like I keep on talking about fall in every one of my videos, but I like fall. It's a season of change. It's when new things happen. I guess I associate it mostly with school. You know, starting of a new school year, either the starting of college or, of course, the starting of this program. I think it's beautiful. I'm on the daily route back home on the 15 bus and the 36 bus. You can see there's a nice big skyscraper behind me. There aren't too many in the center of Budapest, but once you come out, oh, there's my bus. Look at it come. Once you come out towards the edges, they get bigger. I think it must be some sort of zoning code. I'm sitting here at the window, and it's raining outside. And I have my legs pressed up against the heater, which is very warm and nice. Private little garden. Much to enjoy the rain. It reminds me of fall and winter in my house back in New Jersey. These radiators and the smell of what is, I guess, burning dust is strongly associated with being warm and being at home and being happy. And the air outside smells clean and cool. I've been trying recently to get my, emotions and memories across more, because I think maybe it's interesting to listen to. I feel like I have a lot to talk about, a lot of associations and beautiful things that I've seen that I can try and get across poetically. I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but the reason I'm doing this channel, I have said that it's, to keep my parents or grandparents informed as to what I'm doing here in Budapest, but I think the main reason why I was really inspired to do it was because I wanted to do it when I traveled to Moscow, which is hopefully going to happen this spring. I'll be studying at Moskva Государственный университет, which is the Moscow State University. Pretty prestigious, kind of top 2 maybe Russian universities. And I was so inspired by watching these Russian YouTubers who were traveling to like the United States and vlogging in English, and I was so interested to hear their point of view that I hope that I could, provide the same kind of thing, but for someone in Russian. So at some point this channel is going to transition into just Russian videos. I'll try my best. At the beginning it's going to be pretty terrible, I think, but I'll get better. Naturally, after being a nice beautiful shade of rain, the day has become a nice beautiful shade of cloudy but sunny and blue, and the sky is just, the color of the sky for some reason seems different than normal. It's really beautiful. Of course, it won't last for very long because the sun sets at 7 now, which is comparatively early. There are all these street-side little market places. Get some nice fresh fruit, got some grapes, got some raspberries, got some kind of like plum-ish fruits. I'm gonna go to a really nice hummus place. It's a bit expensive, but it's so good.
Not inhabited by Hungarian speakers, but mainly German, some Serbs, and some other languages. And this is the street. Years old.
Oh, only a few years
Yeah,
old.
yes.
Ah, I see. So it used to not be like this at all, I guess.
It's crowded with cars, buses, everything.
Huh. Wow, it's so beautiful.
It's brand new.
Huh.
Elizabeth Bridge. This is the only bridge that will not
Looks pretty imposing. It's the Art Deco style. Look at the beautiful pink sky.
Some people want to
I just heard that this building here is where the most expensive apartments are. You can see up top. Look at that. It's like cotton candy. This is a view of, this is the view of the MT tram, which is one of the old and beautiful ones that goes along the bank of the Danube. And especially at night, it's so clear you can see the amazing Buda Castle up on the hill, and all the lights of the city and the boats reflecting on the Danube. Yeah, I'm sitting here editing this video. It's turning out to be a lot shorter than the last one. I think that's partially because I recorded less, but also because the stuff that I recorded was better, I'd say. I think I managed to get a lot more concise and maybe a little bit more interesting footage, so I'm happy. I hope you enjoy it. And I've got to say, you never get used to these whiffs of sewage that just hit you in a city with plumbing as old as Budapest. And Budapest has some pretty old plumbing. It's an old city, and when it was first built, it was two cities, Pest and Buda. I guess at that point they probably weren't even cities, more like villages. And things developed. Let's see what I remember from my Budapest studies class. One of the big features of the old city was a wall. And if you look at Budapest right now, you can still see the wall. It manifests itself as a ring of streets, which presumably were once outside of it, and now have been subsumed by the city. And you can still see the old parts of the wall, which have literally just been built into buildings, which I think I have a video of. You can even see the little, Lego-shaped knobs at the top of the wall, just exactly like you'd imagine in every other medieval wall. And what else is interesting? Well, in a lot of the buildings, you can see bullet holes, which just have never been fixed since, I think it must have been since the uprising, communist uprising or something that happened. And my professor was telling me about that. Of course, she's not even that old, and she's lived through like socialism and communism when the Soviet Union was there. And I was interested to hear, and there, like, the prices of every cafe and every clothing store were all the same. They weren't great prices, but they were all the same, which is interesting. And compared to now, Budapest is a thrivingly capitalist city. Like at the very end of my street there, I don't know if you can see it, but far off there's that white W. It's like the biggest shopping mall in the entire country right there. It's pretty big. And like, I've seen big malls in America. Here I am at my dorm, my apartment, I guess. Wow. Somebody nicely illuminating it for me while I get my keys out. There's no way we have many more days like this left. Can wear a t-shirt and shorts and have to shield myself from the hot sun above. Yesterday I went out to Margaret Island, and there was, I didn't know this at all, but there was a, someone's got a big speaker. There was a athletic event there or something, and there were volleyball courts, oh yeah, and ping pong courts, oh yeah, and so I got the most tired I think I've ever been in my life. I played volleyball for 4 hours, and then I also had scheduled, unrelatedly to that, I scheduled going rock climbing with some friends, and so, god damn, was I dead, and I'm still kind of dead right now. I can feel it in every muscle, all over my body, but it feels good. So I really haven't been doing much today. I have some homework. I'm very ahead of my graphics homework. I submitted it like a week early for like, and the nice thing is he gives us like points for every like part that we do, and you can do more. So I did like double the amount necessary for an A+. I don't know if he'll let me accept it all, but if so, I probably don't even have to do any more homework. Yeah, and so now I'm just getting a little bit of lunch. You can see how beautiful it is here. There are a lot of trees in this little alley, kind of. It's not really an alley. There aren't any cars that go through here, so there are a bajillion restaurants all on the sides, along the sides. And there's a little market where they sell fruit. And there's a Chinese restaurant that I go to a bunch, or I guess it's Vietnamese and Thai and Chinese. I don't know. There's a hummus bar that I go to. There's a jazz bar right back there that I've been to a couple times. And now I'm going to this vegan street food place, which I haven't been to. And I'm going to get a nachos burger, which, yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. Of course, this is an expensive place, but most of the rest are quite reasonably priced. Yeah, a meal at any one of them is $10, maybe less, maybe a little bit more, but just about there. So not like crazy expensive, not crazy cheap either. And yeah, God, it still feels like summer, impossibly. Yeah, we can't have too many. It's quite good, very tasty.